know it's you.
You're such a buzzkill.
I bet you're wondering how I ended up in this situation. Hi, I'm Ethel. I'm an actor and, unfortunately for you, a filmmaker. And I decided not too long ago that acting should be fun. What? Crazy. Definitely had nothing to do with me getting a brain injury in a car accident. So I started a TikTok and Instagram page all about that. My debauched experiences as an actor and filmmaker in this wild, wild world. And on those platforms, I've been, for the month of October, bringing my viewers along as I scrape together a demo reel. So the whole idea of this series is making short, heavy on the short, little sizzle scenes for my acting reel, and I want them to look like I just plucked them from a TV show or a movie, so they can't look shitty, which is a big ask of just one person in one office. I started off with a teen drama. Don't buy your personality from a clearance bin, which is so far the most popular of all my videos and the most simple of all my setups. I then went over to a procedural drama, but no one believed me. They still don't believe me. And then I attempted horror comedy and failed. I failed because I did not plan. How did I get from failed demo scene to this?
Stay in the tent.
Well, I had to plan, unfortunately. And that sucked. So I wrote a script. 4 lines, keeping it short, guys. If you go past half a page, you are too long. Spoiler alert, I actually cut a line in post, which is even better because Actors Access charges $22 per minute of a video. Interesting. So the scenario here is a final girl. We have Parker. She's sheltering in a tent. Things are not looking good. She does not look good. And she is on the walkie-talkie to her friend, Sadie. And, well, she knows something Sadie doesn't think she knows. Parker's smart, and Parker realized that Sadie is the killer. And of course, Sadie is like a little bummed about that. So that's maybe a little bit of comedy there. But what I knew I needed that I didn't already have was a tent and walkie-talkies. I went on Amazon and was trying to find the smallest tent possible. So I got this 1-person tent, which is absolutely humongous when you put it inside of an office. And I bought walkie-talkies. And what I really liked about these walkie-talkies is that the light, they have a little tiny light, which they say on the ad, like you can use in emergencies to illuminate things, and it looks way brighter on the ad. You are not going to illuminate much. I liked that because then that gave me an opportunity to like throw some halation on it in post. So outside of the equipment I already had, how much did this cost me? I would say under $50. I already had special effects makeup from a previous demo reel. Cue flashback. Perfect. I don't profess to be any expert on special effects makeup. My process is just looking at a picture and picking colors. I feel like the camera's really forgiving. I feel like I actually could have gone crazier. In reality, it looked way worse than it showed up on camera. Now, if you want to actually see me stumble through it, I did create a get ready with me. Found out my friend is the killer, and I posted it on TikTok. There's the plug. Go watch it, assholes. Now I look gorgeous, and so let's go on to costume. I love texture, and so if I can get some knit in my costume, if you are scared of patterns, you probably shouldn't watch my videos. So we got the hair, we got the costume, we got the props, lighting. So let's start with the lantern. This bad boy, because it's in the shot, is called a practical. If a light is in the shot, if you can see it, it's a practical. You got that? Cool, you got some lingo there. But this alone is not bright enough here. So I put this LED panel right here, and I matched the color vibe, tungsten, whatever. And I have it pointed at me as if it is coming from the lantern. And that is giving me most of my illumination, but I'm also illuminating the tent with the moon. That is my big softbox, and it is pointed up and down. I don't have another light. I don't have a hair light. It wouldn't make sense. Why would there be a light out in the wood? Now, could I have gone the extra mile and maybe like added some wind to make this seem like this is like a really cold, high peak area? I'm not sure, but then that means I would have to re-record all my audio, which is called ADR. But for me, that's called a pain in the ass. Not doing that. Thank you. My boom mic, if you've noticed, it's lower. Usually it's above me. Usually that's how it goes. But if I put it above me, it would be in the shot. It didn't. Sorry. I am sitting on a cushion, and that is honestly just to reduce noise because this is plastic. And that during a take doesn't sound great, does it? No, it doesn't. Guys, I need money. This hand effect, it's just me. So whose hand is that? And I knew I was going to run into some technical difficulties, but I gave it the good college try and it paid off. Because I knew I wanted to try that hand on the tent, I made sure that I stuck in only 2/3 of the frame and I did not go over that because I wanted to then hop out of the tent and record me doing some hand choreography and crop that to be 1/3 of the screen. But there was a bit of an issue because when I move, the light does change on that tent wall because I'm no longer there shadowing some of it. So it bounces around more in the tent. And so that shot was lighter. I had to really finagle with the cropping. And in DaVinci, I did feather the edges. So it was like a transition into that shot. I'm sure some keen cynics can see that, but good enough for me. All this series thus far that I've been posting on TikTok and Instagram, at no point do I actually discuss my acting. And I I get that this is the Debauched Diary of an Actor and then parentheses and filmmaker. So I feel like I should talk about my acting in case anyone is curious. I have, like most actors, sought training in different techniques, but truly I have an Anne of Green Gables imagination. And so I found out that the techniques of like either substituting, someone that for that character, or, finding a memory from your life that kind of applies and like using that as an emotional basis for the scene. I found personally that none of that worked for me because my imagination is so off its rocker that all I have to do is just sit there and imagine this character and this life for a bit and I'm there. And so truly, to my fellow Anne of Green Gables out there, don't feel like you need a codified way to be an actor or to have a certain technique. How did you get into character for Parker? Truly, I just imagined how pissed I would be if my best friend ended up being the killer, and on top of that, assumed I was stupid enough not to know. So at the end of the day, do what works for you. But most importantly, I care about how you transition into a scene and transition out of it. From a mental health side of things, I think it is monumentally important that actors have not only good boundaries, but good tools in their tool belt of emotional maturity to unpack and pack a scene. You won't find me having very definitive opinions for the most part. I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to the craft, as people say. But when it comes to mental health and consent, I am quite strict in my opinions, and that is unfortunately from bad experiences. So that's your lecture for today. I had someone ask me on TikTok, is it okay if they also do this, if they also create demo scenes for themselves? And to that I say, hell yes. They were afraid. In their comment, they expressed how they didn't want to copy me. They didn't want to give that impression that they were copying me. And I think the only way I would get that impression, guys, is if you guys are verbatim using my scripts and my scenes. So to that, I say, don't use verbatim my scripts and scenes because I'm not you. We are not going for the same types of characters and we do not have the same career goals. This is by far my favorite scene that I have done. Welcome to the Debauched Diary of an Actor and Filmmaker. Sucker. And I made a fatal error because I looked up the Scream 2 trailer on TikTok because I wanted to see how many Scooby-Doo actors they got in this franchise. And I just watched the trailer and that was fine. Okay. And then I went on with my life until bam, 7 a.m. hit